Okay. I'm so excited to talk with you, Laura. So what we just kind of dive in. Laura, you are the head girl boss of Girlboss Solutions. Can you tell us and I just kind of wanted to ask a bunch of questions because so many of the women I work with want to hire a VA, are curious about how a VA can help them in their business. But there's so much confusion as to what a VA does and how much they charge, all that good stuff. So I'm hoping that today, at our time together, that you can kind of just like drop some knowledge bombs on all of us and educate us. So why don't we start by telling us about you and how you got started as a VA or what? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm the chief. I call myself the chief girl boss of my business, Girlboss Solutions. And I started, I was a VA, I think for maybe 3 years. I've always been in corporate America. And many years ago when my babies were little, I chose to stay home, but I was always consulting and working from home. And I love that. I love connecting with other women. And then we moved to a different state and my kids are all in school. And I thought, I kind of want to delve back in to maybe my previous life, but that required a lot of travel and that wasn't something I was going to do. And so I thought there had to be something that I could do from home that could contribute to the greater good. So I ended up becoming a VA. I just saw a post on Facebook for somebody who needed a virtual assistant. I thought I could do that. And it was great. I got hooked up with some fantastic women who, really had great businesses, but just needed some help. They were passionate about a lot of it, but, growing a business is hard and you can't do everything all the time. And so I started being a virtual assistant for them. And then I had so many friends, well-educated women who have chosen to stay home with their kids or just looking for something different, something a little bit more flexible. And they were like, how do I get started with this? And there was a niche. There was there was a hole, a gap. I needed to connect these women with their great businesses with these women who could help them build their business. So
yes,
I started Girlboss Solutions.
And how long ago was that?
Just over a year. We just passed our year mark.
Seriously? Oh my gosh.
But it's crazy. I thought I would have a good response, but really it has just been fantastic. Women have really, this has resonated with them because it's somebody, they find people that they can trust grow their business and it helps them immensely.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I can't believe it's been a year because if you go to your website, it feels like you've been doing this for a long time. And that's how, and honestly, so I found you through Christine, who also does coaching, and you hooked me up with my VA, Charity, who I adore. And and so, okay, I want to know more. So one of the main questions that I got when I kind of asked people this is what we're doing, what do you want to know, was, okay, what exactly does a VA do? And I know it's not one size fits all, but maybe you can kind of share some insights as to what your VAs do maybe.
Yeah. So really, it's like what you said, there is no right answer. I think if we had to boil it down, it could be whatever you need. I always tell clients come to me, what part of your business do you find so much joy in? Some people really love to connect. Some people like to design. It doesn't matter, but there's always a pain point. What is that one thing that you don't want to do? That's what you give your VA to do. So you can focus on what brings you joy and then know that whatever, maybe it's running reports or maybe it's messaging or social media, whatever isn't your thing, have your VA do that.
Yeah. No, seriously. I think that I work with so many women who they're at a place in their business and they are doing all the things.
Yeah.
And so it ends up being they can't scale their business and grow because they're so busy pushing paper and making doing all these actions that don't have the ROI as to where if they actually could put their talents someplace there.
That's right. When you have a business to you feel like you need to do it all because maybe you don't have the budget to grow it, but you have to see it as an investment. When you that frees up your time, you can focus on doing the things that bring you joy, and there will be a better return on investment. Like, you are going to be able to scale your business bigger. You just have to invest in yourself.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree. So since you brought up the cost issue, like another question I got was, how much does a VA cost? And again, I know there's like a whole spectrum there, depending on some variables, but let's go there.
Yeah, totally. So, I mean, I would say like a baseline virtual assistant is anywhere between 15 and 25. But then based on what skills you need, maybe you need somebody who's really good at like CRM management, or, you want her to redo your website and you need somebody who's like proficient in coding. I mean, that's obviously going to get up. But, and I will say, for my company, we really try to with your budget while still being fair to the VAs, because it's a business for them too. But my goal is always help women's business succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And so we try really hard to be flexible with budgets. Now, I will say, I'm not like the only VA agency out there, and I know that you can get really, really inexpensive virtual assistants if you outsource it to Philippines or other countries.
Mm-hmm.
That was something that I've taught to a bunch of clients who have done that. And that is a great route if you are really trying to cut costs and keep it simple. I would say the benefit, or like if we're going to weigh the...
Yeah. Is it apples to apples? What is it?
I don't know. I mean, like if you have a VA who you're wanting her to like help you with your social media, so she's on there like commenting and liking, you want somebody who speaks like you and who knows our culture and who knows, slang and stuff like that. And sometimes I think that gets a little lost in translation.
Yes.
Like some things don't come across the same. But I know that for some people, when they're just starting out, that feels like a better solution, and they've had good success. So I don't want to like discount that, but I do want to say there is value in having some, what's the word I want? Like, talking,
Is it freezing on your end? It's freezing on my end here. No, you're good. Okay. Okay. So then do you have any like stories of, let me go over here, any stories of clients that you've worked with that maybe they weren't sure they could afford you, but yet then they found as they move forward that, oh, this actually frees me up a little bit. Do you have any like client? Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you, I can sit here all day and it is such a leap of faith. Really, it is a leap of faith when you say, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to let somebody into my business. I have this client who started with me. She had never had a VA before. She didn't even really know how a VA could help her. And that's another thing that an assistant can come in. She can help you kind of prioritize what's important, and make that pipeline go smoother. So we got her a VA and she started working with her, and it was, it was a leap of faith. She did not have the extra budget for this, but in a year's time, watching her business take off as she was able to focus on the things that she did really, really well, which is connect with people, and then leave all the other things, the graphics, the paperwork, the reports, whatever it was, to her virtual assistant. I mean, she ranked up in her company several things, and has had like the very best year ever. And it's because she was able to focus on what brings her joy.
Yes. And the activities, that 10 to 20% of activities that actually move a business forward, that only she can do, and that does well. Yes. Absolutely. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I remember when I first was talking with you, because you always, when people come to you, because you're the head of the agency, you talk with us and you ask questions and you really dial into what is it that we need help with, support with. And I remember I shared with you what I needed, and you're like, oh, you really know exactly, this is great. You know exactly where you need support. And I asked you, like, do some people not know that? So what should someone know when they reach out to you, or whatever agency they do, like reach out to you? What should they know in order to save money and get started out of the gate quicker?
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's two schools of thought. clients that come to me like you did, like I need X, Y, and Z, and this is why. I mean, that's so dreamy because then I can say, perfect, I have the perfect girl for you.
Dreamy.
She
Yeah.
comes to train, she'll be ready to hit the ground. And it is like, I mean, I think our process is pretty quick before you were like matched and off and running.
Yep.
On the flip side, there are a lot of people who just don't know because A, they've never had a VA before, and B, like it's a new world for them. So part of that is having that client intake, I call it a discovery call.
Yes.
So you can see kind of where your pain points are. So when you go to an agency, when you're ready to find an assistant, figure out what is slowing you down in your business. What are the things that you just hate, like we talked about earlier, that you don't like to do, or not that you don't like to do them, but that you could outsource and feel comfortable with that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big curve of like trusting somebody with your business, and also for the VA, she needs to learn how to talk like you, think like you. You know, she becomes an extension of you and your business, and so. You know, I always say have some, there is like a learning curve. There's like a newlywed period, if you will, like
Mm-hmm.
while you guys both get used to each other. But the very best thing is just knowing what your goal, what you want to accomplish maybe in 3 months, and what those pain points are now. Those are the two things I would say, come knowing those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. So what kind of clients do you service? Because you have, I mean, I'm guessing it's mostly women because it's Girlboss Solutions, but is it women building all sorts of businesses online?
Yeah. So I just thought that there was a need for women supporting women. I think that there's something super powerful in that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I made a conscious choice just to focus on women business owners. So I do everything. We've got health and fitness coaches. I've got authors. We got real estate agents. We have photographers. I mean, really, it could be anything. And I just kind of have the gamut of, you know, from one aspect, I had a school teacher who had some projects that she needed help with, and she just was so busy during the school year. She's like, I just need an assistant. I'm like, great. So it really could be anything. It could be, you know, a freelance photographer. It could be fitness coach. It could be a real estate agent.
That's awesome. And then and this is one thing I just was thinking about, because when someone says, okay, so I reach out to you and with an agency, what happens after we have this discovery call? What happens next? Am I locked into something, or what is it?
No, not at all. So what we do is, so the client calls, she and I have a, you know, like this, like a face-to-face meeting. And then, so the way I structure my business is we do packages. I feel like it's easier for your assistant to know that she needs to produce X amount of hours each week and needs to get X, you know, Y things done. So we do packages. We send them over to the client. I always give several to choose from so they can fit what works best. And then we match with a VA. And sometimes that's super fast. This girl, I send pre-recorded interview, and you're like, that's my person. I know that's my person. And other times it takes a little bit of finding the right one. But usually it's about I would say anywhere between 4 to 7 day turnaround before you're matched and ready to go.
Yeah, I think that's huge, though, that you give options not only with like the packages, so people can say what fits best for investment wise, but also you give options with the VA, and the recordings are awesome. So you're not like, here is your one VA. It's like, oh, I get to see who personality wise and skill set wise. And I like choices. And I think.
Right. Well, because somebody might be perfect, you know, like if you really need help with social media and graphics, like this person might be a perfect match on paper. But I will tell you, I think like personality matching compatibility is like 95% of the equation. If you guys don't gel, it's going to be a hard road. And so that's why I want to send you as many people over as possible, because I don't know you except for, you know, I don't know the clients except for the 10 minutes we've chatted. Yeah. But you will find who you connect with better in the course of those interviews.
Oh, totally. I mean, I think with Charity, I'm like, I haven't heard from her today. I miss her. So I think that personality is like so key, because you want to, I always think like when I work with my clients, you want to manifest and draw like winning a team around you, because you can't build what your true vision by yourself. I mean, you're going to burn yourself out. You're never going to reach your full potential. So I think, having that partner is so big, that is right there cheering you along.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay. So the last question that I've received so many messages with this one question is, okay, I am curious about becoming a VA myself. How does someone become a VA?
I'm obviously going to make a plug. If you want to be a virtual assistant and you have skills, go to my website, and there's a place where you can apply to be a VA. I think virtual assistant agencies are really great because they do the groundwork for you. They bring you the clients. I know my company like takes care of all the billing and stuff, so you really can focus on client work and not have to worry about the logistics. So if you are wanting to become a virtual assistant, I will say,
I will link your website on this post. So
go on over, and there's just apply to be a VA, and we'll get an interview on file, and you can go from there. It's a really great option for anybody who wants some flexible living. Obviously you need to be available during the day, but it is flexible, and especially you can work with clients to find a time where she knows you're going to be in office, and I just think it's a really great solution for women who just need a little bit of flexibility in their hours.
Is that what you normally find, are the women that want a little bit more freedom to work, make their own hours? And okay, so there's a button on your website I didn't know that. I was looking for the button that said hire a VA. I'm like, I need help.
Yeah.
So, okay. Is there anything else that you, like, what are the common questions that you ever get? Like,
no, I think we talked about all. I just, back on the hire the VA part, and for the clients as well, training is such a huge component of a virtual assistant. And, a lot of girls or women are like, oh, I don't know how to do this. And even clients are like, well, I'm not really sure how to train that. And I feel like that is something that sets me apart, is I provide everybody trained and ready to go. And the assistants that are in my business, we have ongoing training every month. So we're continually up leveling skills. So that way the client doesn't have to take their time to train the client, but they can hit the ground running.
Which is also so key if you're working in social media, because there's always it's always changing and evolving, and to stay on top of it as a team that's huge. So thank you so much, Laura, for chatting, and thank you for what you do to help other women like me build a business that helps other people. So I love the whole women supporting women movement, and how we can just do this online and help one another together. So
thank you.
All right,
appreciate it.
Okay, bye.